When the Philadelphia 76ers lace them up tonight in their season opening game in South Philly, there'll be a lot of stars in the building. Not only will the Heat bring Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh and company onto the floor, but Allen Iverson will officially announce his retirement from the NBA to a rousing ovation, to be sure. Iverson, who is famous for giving emotional, eloquent speeches, is surely going to have the attention of every Sixers fan. There won't be a dry eye in that building, because very few people, if anybody, have ever connected with the city of Philadelphia and been adopted as their favorite son, a la Rocky Balboa, like the real Balboa, Allen Iverson. Iverson was a warrior. He put it all out on the floor. This guy was held together with duct tape, bursitis of the elbow, back problems, knees, you name it. This guy played with pain, and he paid ferociously. For a 10-year span, Allen Iverson led the NBA in minutes played. During his NBA playoff career, he's played over 45 minutes per game. This guy was relentless. He dove for every ball. He took it to the hole fearlessly against monsters. It was a sight to behold, and it was an honor to watch Allen Iverson's career unfold in Philadelphia. As for the game tonight, well, the Sixers are clearly going to try to tank this season. I don't want to say they want to be 0-82. Tonight would be a nice game to win. Every time you play the Heat, try to beat them. It's going to be a fascinating debut for Sixers rookie guard Michael Carter-Willians from Syracuse. This guy has been compared by some experts to a young Magic Johnson because he's tall and he's a point guard. He passes the ball obviously very well, and he can score. He could play defense with his size. So this guy has potential. Now, the Sixers' #1 draft pick, Nerlens Noel, who they got when they traded away Drew Holiday to the Pelicans. Yes, the Pelicans. He'll miss the entire season. I don't think the Sixers want him back on the floor halfway through the year, even if he's healthy, because that goes toward losing more games and getting more ping pong balls. There's been a story in the print media this week that an anonymous GM of an NBA team has come out and said, we're going to try to lose as many games as possible. Now, if there's a gun to my head and I had to guess, I would guess it was the Sixers general manager, because clearly they don't want to win this game. When Edmund Turner is your #1 scoring threat going into a season, you're clearly planning on losing. The only drawback in this is the ping pong balls don't always go your way. If you remember, a few years ago, the Boston Celtics clearly tanked the season. They made sure they had the worst record in the NBA, and they didn't get the #1 pick. I'm not even sure if they got the #2 pick. So then they used free agency to get the big three together and won the title the next year anyway. So it didn't work out with their original plan, but they managed to get lucky in free agency. But with that being said, you got Wiggins out there, a rich draft coming out of college next year. If you're the Sixers, you have no choice but to lose the games. You're not going to win the NBA championship with Nerlens Noel missing at least half the season and without a true shooting guard. So there you have it. Allen Iverson coming back to Philadelphia to a spectacular reception, I can guarantee, by the fans who loved him that he played for. The answer, Allen Iverson, the best there ever was in Philadelphia, in my opinion. In other sports news, move over to the NFL. The Eagles have announced Nick Foles will be the starter in Oakland. As an Eagles fan, I'm heavily relieved because that means Matt Barkley won't be playing. I never thought I'd be hoping that Nick Foles would be named the starter, but Vic's hamstring is just completely torn apart from what happened in last week's game against the Giants, that disgrace, that debacle that happened at Lincoln Financial Field. So we can only hope Vic is healthy by the end of the year. Should we be able to make a run at the NFC least, where the Cowboys are in first place with a measly 4-4 record. So Nick Foles has got to go into Oakland, win on the road against the opposing quarterback Terrell Pryor, who stunned everybody with a 93-yard touchdown run and is coming on as a star in the NFL. So we'll see how that game goes. But the big news tonight, the Sixers against LeBron James, the debut of Coach Brett Brown, may I add that. They might want to try to win the game. It's the Heat. LeBron James, take them down. Go Sixers.